Welcome to Hebrew Grammar Quest, the biggest and best Messiah-centered online Hebrew grammar course out there. If you know our story, then you know that about 10 years ago we released Hebrew Quest, which is our foundational Hebrew course at holylanguage.com. 40 lessons, about 55 hours. Tens of thousands of students have worked through Hebrew Quest and came closer to Yeshua of Nazareth through the holy language of Hebrew, reading the Bible that Jesus read. At the same time, though, there was a problem with Hebrew Quest. We were really focused on a couple of things like the spiritual side of the language, the historical background to it, and also our focus was on just getting our students right into the text. So you learn the alphabet, and then you start reading texts and just picking up the language as you go that way. It worked really well, but the downside was we didn't spend a lot of time on grammar. In fact, we packed all of the grammar into just 4 lessons between lessons 12 and 15. And with the assumption that as we read texts, students would pick up grammar as they went. That worked for some people. For other people, it wasn't enough grammar. We didn't spend enough time on it, and we didn't get into enough detail, and they just needed more grammar. We needed to go slower and spend more time on it. And Hebrew Grammar Quest meets that need. So I'm going to go ahead here now, and I'm going to show you around Hebrew Grammar Quest and tell you how to get started and tell you 20 things that I most love about this course. If you're a real keener and you just want to get started for yourself, use the links underneath this video to click through to holylanguage.com. You can use the menus to navigate to Hebrew Grammar Quest, and it's also on the Hebrew Quest page. So if you want, you can go ahead and do that. But I do think that you'll enjoy me showing you around the course and sharing the excitement with you. So the first thing that I love about Hebrew Grammar Quest is that it's big. Like, it's as big as Hebrew Quest, if not bigger. It's 35 lessons, which isn't as many as the Hebrew Quest lessons, but you're going to be spending more time on them. In fact, I'd say you're going to be spending at least 2 hours per lesson, and that doesn't mean you have to sit there for 2 hours straight. Thankfully, every Hebrew Grammar Quest lesson is broken up into little segments, so you can even just do 5 or 10 minutes a day. But at the same time, it's a big course, and it covers grammar in, I'd say, a fair bit of detail. So if that's something you're looking for, this is your thing. In fact, let me just show you really quick here on the left-hand side. Let's scroll down, and I'll just show you the lessons in Hebrew Grammar Quest, as you can see here, all the way down to lesson 35 there. And I'm going to show you a couple of these lessons and some details in them. But just real quick, I wanted to show you just how big it is, which for me is really quite exciting. All right, the second thing I love about Hebrew Grammar Quest is that it's so user-friendly and beautiful too. Like, for instance, if you look up here, there's this nifty little feature where you can toggle the sidebar. So you can close that up, and then you just have this beautiful, clean, minimalist style grammar quest to work through. It's something I really like. So we'll open up the sidebar again for now because it's nice to see where we are. As you can see here, it's also user-friendly. You can actually change your font settings, so you can make them bigger or smaller. You can change the style of the font, and then also we're using the white background here, but you can also change it to this nifty sepia style background. And if you like to do all of your Hebrew grammar study at night, maybe as a way to help you to go to sleep, then you can also switch to this night theme, as you can see here. So super nifty that it has that feature. Hebrew Grammar Quest is also 100% mobile friendly, so you can do the whole thing on your phone. And then finally, a really neat feature that I like is if you want to progress to the next page, you just hit the right key on your keyboard and it will take you to the next page. So why don't we go ahead and we'll do that right now. So I'm hitting the right key, and boom. As you can see, we were on the welcome page, and then it went to the preface. So here we are on the preface. Now, this is the third thing that I love about Hebrew Grammar Quest. It's not just for like visual learners, if you like to read or if you like to like watch videos and see pictures and stuff. It's also for audio learners. So basically, as you can see at the top here, there's an audio track, and it's our course creator, Chris Flanagan. And then sometimes it's also me with clips from Hebrew Quest and some other clips that I recorded special for this. So basically, it's Chris or me giving you all the information on the page. So if you prefer to like have somebody tell you all the things, that's what this is. This is Chris and me telling you all the things. And check it out. If you find that I or Chris talk too slow, you can speed us up. If you feel that we're talking too fast, let's say that you're from the deep south and you're like, Izzy's Canadian and he talks really fast, you can slow me down. So that's another incredible thing about Hebrew Grammar Quest, is it's very friendly to audio learners. But not just that, and that's the fourth thing that I love, it's also super friendly to visual learners. As you can see here, we have readable text, and then not only that, but we also have pictures and videos on almost every page, and definitely in every lesson. So whether you're more of an audio or a visual learner, this is for you. The fifth thing I love about Hebrew Grammar Quest is basically what you see right here. This isn't just a grammar book. I don't know if you've ever tried to learn Hebrew grammar from a book. It's painful because you're like, I don't know how to pronounce that word, or that's just not how I learned. Books are hard. It's not just a book. This is a course. It's an online course, but it's not just a course. It's also a quest. So this is a spiritual quest. Just like our original foundational course, Hebrew Quest, was a spiritual journey getting closer to Yeshua through the Hebrew language and through reading the Bible that he read. This similarly is a quest. It's all about your relationship with God. It's all about getting closer to Yeshua, growing spiritually. And let me ask you, have you ever seen a Hebrew grammar book or a Hebrew grammar course that really did that for you? That's what this course is going to do. And I absolutely love that. But at the same time, it's more than that. Not only is it a devotional experience, not only is Hebrew Grammar Quest a spiritual quest, it is also intellectually challenging. It is an academic level course. So if you're looking for like a seminary or university level Hebrew course, grammar course, this will meet that need. Except that you're not going to be spending thousands of dollars and going into debt, because one of our goals at Holy Language Institute is to be affordable so that everybody can experience what we are offering. We are a ministry, not a business. So that's another thing I really love. The seventh thing I love about Hebrew Grammar Quest, and this kind of ties into your learning style, is that it's not just sitting around and listening to lectures and having to read books. If you have a hard time, like staying alive in the ivory tower or just not going to sleep, this is not, you don't have to stay locked up in the ivory tower. This Hebrew Grammar Quest is focused on active learning. So we use flashcards, we use different, let's see, where is it here? It talks a little bit about it here with more detail here towards the bottom here. You can see for yourself. We use flashcards, we use worksheets, and then we use lots of other ways to keep you engaged. And every lesson is a compilation of multiple different kinds of exercises. You move from thing to thing. We don't stay on any one thing for too long. So if you're a little bit ADD, it might actually work for you. If you've tried to like learn Hebrew grammar before and it didn't work, I sincerely believe that this could be your saving grace, so to speak. All right, the eighth thing I love about Hebrew Grammar Quest is that even though it is intellectually challenging and it is going to, you're going to learn on an academic level, it's also low stress because it basically just puts you in the driver's seat, and it allows you to drive as fast or as slow as you want. You can work through this at your own pace. This is a self-paced course. All right. The ninth thing I love about Hebrew Grammar course is here in the FAQs. Actually, I'm going to show you a couple things here. We're not gonna read through all of these together. Hopefully, you'll do the course and you can look over this for yourself. But one of the things here that I wanted to point out specifically as we get started here is that you don't actually. Oh, you know what? Let's let's go here instead. Okay, let's go to the FAQs. I hit the right key and it started to take us to the next page instead. All right, so this talks a little bit about why we're offering this course, which I already just explained to you. And then this is the next thing that I love. The ninth thing that I love is that this is not Hebrew Quest. So you don't have to do Hebrew Quest first. This is a separate course. At the same time, though, it is something of an extension of Hebrew Quest. So if you've done Hebrew Quest, definitely this will be your next step, along with our Hebrew verses lessons, where we read through texts from the Old and New Testaments in Hebrew. And but you don't have to. And so basically, this is a nice little visual here, picturing that. So basically, remember I mentioned the lessons where we packed in the grammar. So that's basically lessons 12 to 15, and then a tiny bit in 16. And this is the grammar that was covered in those lessons. And then basically, this is how Hebrew Grammar Quest is an extension of those specific lessons in Hebrew Quest. It really unpacks them and helps you to take your time and be thorough and not get absolutely lost and overwhelmed. How wonderful is that? All right, so the 10th thing that I love about Hebrew Grammar Quest is that it's not just for individuals. It can be used in a group context with your congregation, and it's also great if you are preparing for the ministry, whether that be pastor, rabbi, whatever the case may be. If you do Hebrew Grammar Quest, it will definitely be a step in that direction. So this is great for individuals, great for groups. All right, the 11th thing that I love about Hebrew Grammar Quest is that it has this kind of accompanying guidebook. It's almost like you have a guide to help you along the way, and it really helps you to navigate the course. So, for instance, here we have this navigating the course page, and it shows how I already showed you this, so we can skip that part. But as you can see down here, there are also information boxes, and they're nice with these little icons, so it's really easy to see what you have to do next. The quest box, stop box, light box, info box, caution box, audio box. So it's just laid out in a really nice way, easy to get around, very helpful. And then up towards the top here, I don't know if you can see it right now. Okay, yeah, there is also a getting started section, which really gives you a checklist and gives you everything you need to get started. So if you don't feel like you're very tech savvy, if you're a little bit scared of something like this, you'll find that this is super helpful. And not only that, but we also have this feature here where you can actually use the contact form through the course to get help, and you will get a response, and you can make it through your Hebrew Grammar Quest. All right. So having jumped around a little bit, let's open up lesson 1 here, and I'll show you a couple things. So I had mentioned how Hebrew Grammar Quest is visual. Here's a great example. It's starting with the Hebrew Aleph-Bet, and we have a really nice picture of some different forms of the Aleph-Bet throughout history. I'd also mentioned how there's this spiritual devotional side to it. You can definitely see that here. There's this first thought section, which is basically like a moment to slow down, to really center spiritually, and to remember why you're studying grammar. And as you can see, there are also beautiful visuals of the land of Israel, which once again, it's like it takes you there. It reminds you, why are you learning this language? It's because of Yeshua. It's because of the people of Israel. And the holy language is very closely connected to the Holy Land. And Hebrew Grammar Quest is like a portal to go there. I really like that. All right, so that's the 11th thing I love about Hebrew Grammar Quest, is just that it's so helpful, with the guidebook and whatnot. The 12th thing I love is let's scroll down here a little bit. So just check this out before we get there. As you can see, this is what we cover just in lesson 1. So if you have any questions about any of these things, if you'd like to brush up on your grammar, this is definitely the course for you. All right, so down at the bottom here, I wanted to show you, we have one of the activities that we have is the Ruth Pursuit. And if you've done Hebrew Quest, you may remember that I have you look over texts And if you're learning a specific letter or vowel, then basically you just look through the text and you look for that letter and you identify the letter, and it helps you to really lock it into your long-term memory. And basically we do that with grammar in the book of Ruth. So this is called the Ruth Pursuit, as you can see here. And down towards the bottom, once again, this is both visual and audio. So we have Ruth 1, read by Avraham Shmuelov, who was actually a Jewish believer in Yeshua. And so you can just play that and follow along, or you can read at your own pace. And here we have Ruth chapter 1. There's also an option up here for you to create a copy of Ruth chapter 1, in which you can then take notes and whatnot with a Google document. Super helpful. So that's pretty nifty. We have this Ruth Pursuit feature. And again, it's a great way to actually see how grammar works in the actual text of the Bible, and begin to integrate that into your own mind. And then here we have the second page of Ruth Pursuit. This is Ruth Pursuit translation worksheets. And that gives you some helpful little, once again, the guidebook gives you some helpful little steps so that you'll know exactly what to do. All right, so the 13th thing that I love about Hebrew Grammar Quest is the quizzes. And once again, this is one of those things that you get to actually do. And so that's basically the next one. So if I hit the right key on my keyboard, and it skips me to the next page. And here we have a Quest quiz. And as you can see here, we're using a Google form, and then here, why don't we actually, it might be a little bit hard to click through here, but why don't we click through so that you can see this for yourself. All right, so here's the actual Quest quiz page, and let's go to the next step here, and you can see it for yourself. All right, so here's an example. This is action right here. Writing out in order from right to left the letters of the Aleph-Bet from memory. What's the next one? Identify the Begad Kafat letters. Check all that apply. So basically, that gives you a little sense of what the Quest quizzes look like. All right, so let's get back to the actual course here, and I want to show you the 14th thing that I love about Hebrew Grammar Quest. And it's actually just the next thing in the course, lesson extras. So if you're a real keener, a real eager beaver, then you're going to love this. At the end of each lesson, we give you a list of more resources so that you can grow even more. So for instance, just at the end of lesson 1, there are videos, notes, quizzes, different versions of the Hebrew Aleph-Bet song, so many things to help you grow and just to really reinforce what you're learning, to make sure that you make it to the end of your quest, really understanding and really integrating the grammatical side of the holy language. So I really do love that. All right, let's skip now to lesson 2, and I'm going to show you the 15th thing that I love about Hebrew Grammar Quest. All right, so this is the Hebrew vowels lesson here. And I'll bet, even if you know your Hebrew vowels, I'll bet you're going to get something new out of this. And at the very least, it's going to be a great reminder. I don't know if you ever noticed this about English, but you don't really think a lot about how English works. You just use the language. And sometimes if you spend a lot of time on Hebrew, it's like that too. You just read the language and you understand it. But this is a great time to slow down and actually think about, oh, wow, this language is structured in a really elegant way. This is a really beautiful, the way it's formatted and the way the laws of grammar work. So, even grammar can be a spiritual exercise that way, and it can put you more in awe of God. And so regardless of whether you feel like you're up on your grammar, I think you're going to get a lot out of this course. All right, so why don't we go ahead here and scroll to the bottom of lesson 2. And, okay, there it is. Check this out. Claim your 12 tribes badge. So basically, after you finish a section, you can you get a badge, like a 12 tribes badge. And it looks like the first one here is the Asher badge. And then once again, you can just fill out this form and send in the information, and you can get that. It's a way to celebrate. It's a way to make things more fun. And it also gives you some milestones to encourage you in your quest. All right, so let's skip on a little bit more now to so that was that. Basically, Unit 1 is those first 3 lessons. We're moving now into Unit 2, which is nouns, adjectives, and pronouns, as you can see here. And I had mentioned how, regardless of whether you feel like you're pretty up on your grammar, you are definitely going to learn some new stuff in Hebrew grammar course. And this is a great example. Like, I'm just going to flip through these really fast on our way to showing you the 16th thing that I love about Hebrew Grammar Quest. So here's Hebrew nouns. There's the first thought, the devotional thought, with a beautiful picture from the land of Israel, as you can see here. Grammatical endings, gender and number, lexical form. Do you know what a lexical form is? That'll tell you what's the difference between parsing and inflecting. Singular noun endings, plural noun endings, those specific ones. Dual noun endings, special dual forms. Did you know there are special ones? Irregular pluralization. Do you know those words? So, like, as you can see here, there are just so many things that you may not actually have learned. Definitely not in Hebrew Quest, because we didn't spend so much time on this. What are the rules of Shva? The first one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one, the fifth one. Wow, so much. And it does acknowledge here that this lesson may have felt like you were drinking from a fire hose. There is just so much there. Okay, so anyways, that's lesson 4. And specifically where I was going with that is the very next thing. As you know, part of the holy language learning philosophy is having you learn your second language the way you learned your first language, assuming that Hebrew is your second language. How did you learn your first language? When you were a kid, did your parents sit you down as a 2- and 3-year-old with a grammar book and explain to you the laws of the language? No, you just heard the language spoken all the time by everybody around you, and you picked it up. And basically that's our approach with Hebrew. More than anything, just get you into the actual Hebrew language, get you reading and hearing texts, words and phrases, and indeed your unconscious mind. All of that will be registering in your unconscious mind, and you'll begin to pick it up, and you'll have this, it's almost like a database that's constantly being built up in your brain. And basically that's the approach in these word warm-ups, as you can see here. It's a video of me just giving you words and phrases. And it's like a warm-up, as it's called here. And then, as you can see on the next page, not only do we have word warm-ups, but we also have verses warm-ups. So basically, this is just playing these videos, listening to me read you Hebrew words and verses, and through hearing and through repetition, those things are locked in your long-term memory, and you make them your very own. All right, let's jump now to lesson 12, and I'll show you the 17th thing that I love about Hebrew Grammar Quest. As you can see here, verbs. All of this is verbs. And I don't know, maybe you don't get excited about analyzing verb forms and verb parsing and whatever. If you don't get excited about it, I get you. I don't get super excited about that either. But at the same time, if you really want to master Hebrew, you're going to need to do that. And this is the way to master verbs. So, regardless of whether you're really excited about verbs or not, I know that you're excited about mastering Hebrew. And so this is something that can excite you in that regard. All right. So the 18th thing that I love about Hebrew Grammar Quest here is that we cover so much material. Let me skip down to the bottom here. Wow, there's a lot, isn't there? Okay, we're going to skip down to the bottom here. And then, as we can see here, let's go to conclusion and graduation. All right, so, the 18th thing I love is just that we cover so much ground. This is like a long distance journey. It's not just a short little hop and a skip. We cover a lot of ground in here. Check this out, for instance. By the end of Hebrew Grammar Quest, you will have thoroughly learned the 570 of the most common biblical Hebrew words. You will have committed those to memory, which will basically enable you to read the Hebrew Bible for yourself. And then it gives you some information about where you can go next. You will have translated around 500 Bible verses in Hebrew. Like, isn't that incredible? Had you ever even imagined reading Hebrew, much less like translating it? But that's the fun of this course. Wow. And then also, of course, there's, we cover the Ruth chapter 1 in depth. And it's really, really neat, like in a way. And I would say that this is the 19th thing that I love about Hebrew Grammar Quest, is it does function as something of an honors track to Hebrew Quest. And indeed, as you can see here in the top left, when you complete your Grammar Quest, we will send you a diploma to congratulate you and to celebrate this incredible accomplishment, really. All right, so the 20th thing, this is the last thing that I love about Hebrew Grammar Quest, and in a way I'd even say it's the closest to my heart. Having said that, though, I do have to correct myself. This isn't a thing. The 20th thing that I love about Hebrew Grammar Quest is actually a person, the man behind Hebrew Grammar Quest, who really created all this, took what he learned in Hebrew Quest, put it together, and then made this incredible program, Chris Flanagan. So Chris is the 20th thing that I love about Hebrew Grammar Quest. Chris started out as a student with Holy Language Institute years ago. A couple years after that, he volunteered with Holy Language. If you've seen our Hebrew Quest course, you may have also seen our Memorize course, which uses something of a flashcard approach to locking hundreds and hundreds of words and phrases in your long-term memory. Chris was the mastermind who single-handedly created our Hebrew Quest course on Memorize. Now he's created Hebrew Grammar Quest. And so if you listen to the audios, you'll sometimes hear my voice, and as I mentioned, you'll sometimes also hear Chris's voice. And I hope that his voice really does become familiar and even near and dear to you, because he is, more than anybody, he is the guide who is taking you through this incredible journey through the grammar of the Holy Language. And I have something really special that I wanted to share with you in this introduction to Hebrew Grammar Quest. This right here, this little clay lamp is if you watched Hebrew Quest, then you probably recognize this. This is the original lamp that I used in the Hebrew Quest videos. So at the beginning of our lessons where we would read texts from the Bible, you may remember I had this Middle Eastern get-up, and we were kind of like in this Middle Eastern tent with the Hebrew text in front of us. And we would always light this very lamp. This was the one over 10 years ago. We would always light this lamp, and we would read the verse where in Proverbs, I think it's 6:23, if I'm not mistaken, where it says that the Torah is light, and the mitzvah is a lamp. So Torah is like the spiritual light. And then the mitzvah, the commandment, is like the physical lamp that holds it. And as I was looking over this course that Chris created, it really struck me how that's what grammar is. The grammar is the container that holds the Holy Language. It's like the structure that holds the meaning of this beautiful Hebrew language, the language of the Bible that Jesus read, the language of the traditional Jewish prayers that he prayed. And so, in a way, this lamp right here that we used at the beginning of all of our Hebrew readings in Hebrew Quest, it's like a symbol of Hebrew Grammar Quest. And so, Chris, I have decided that I want to give you this lamp as my way of saying thank you for everything that you have done for the Holy Language community, for our tribe over the years, creating the Memorize course to help us to lock all those words and phrases into our long-term memories and really make it our own. And now creating Hebrew Grammar Quest so that we can really have a container to hold the Holy Language and to experience God's light shining through it by His Spirit, of course. So I'm going to be sending you this lamp, Chris, as my way of saying thank you on behalf of our entire community. We love you, we appreciate you, and we honor you in this video as we announce Hebrew Grammar Quest. Also, for those of you who are watching this, Chris has his own YouTube channel where he puts out some teachings and things. They're really excellent. So I'm going to put a link underneath this video to his YouTube channel, and hopefully you'll check that out and you will subscribe and show support. All right. So that, my friend, is Hebrew Grammar Quest. Hopefully, you will take the plunge, take the first step, and experience this for yourself. I know it's a lot, but I know that by the grace of God, you can do it step by step, little by little. Spend a little bit of time every day, or a couple times a week, or a week, whatever the case may be, you can do it. All right, so from here, just go to holylanguage.com. You can use the links underneath this video to do that. You will have to become a member first. This is a Holy Language Institute is a community, and it's based on two-way relationships, reciprocal relationships. And at the same time, though, we do have reduced rates for people in any kind of financial difficulty. So regardless of your situation in life, money should not be an issue, and finances won't be something that stops you from experiencing Hebrew Grammar Quest for yourself. Also, I am going to give you a little warning here. If you need help with the course, if you are needing any kind of assistance or whatever, don't email Holy Language Institute, actually. Don't use the contact form on our website. Instead, use this form in Hebrew Grammar Quest. See right there where it says Get Help, Give Feedback. Use that page, use that form, and then the right person will see that and will respond. If you're a part of the tribe group, then you could also possibly put out your questions there, and maybe other people who are working through the course could help you. But that's so basically, if you have questions and if you're needing help, that's where to go with those questions. All right, I wanted to finish this very special announcement with a blessing for you, especially if you're going to be doing Hebrew Grammar Quest. So let's go back to lesson 1 together, which of course is where you'll begin. And let's pray this together. You saw how we have this first thought, and I thought this first thought that Chris composed was really beautiful and really meaningful. So this is my prayer. This is our prayer, Chris and me both, for you. We pray that as you undertake this study, we pray that this grammar adventure will be fruitful for you. May God use your growing knowledge of Hebrew as an instrument to advance His kingdom, and may you never cease to proclaim His name. Amen. All the best to you on your Hebrew Grammar Quest, and I will see you on the trail.